this is the last chapter in this, our last lesson in this chapter, so we're going to try to finish it today. And then on Monday, I'll let you know what we're going to do about the test. Okay? So, we have one vocabulary word today. Start my timer. We're on social studies, week 30, day 4. Social studies. Okay. Sorry, that was kind of late. Okay, here we go. So they won. The soldiers are going to get paid. Washington helped negotiate between the soldiers and Congress, because Congress is in charge right now, but they're going to set up a new thing. So, okay, so we're on page 168. Washington returns home. In late November 1783, the war truly ended. The British troops left New York City. Washington could at last give up his command. The soldiers could return to their homes and their lives. On December 4th, Washington said farewell to his troops. 3 weeks later, he formally resigned or gave up his position at the meeting of the Congress. Washington said, having now finished the work assigned to me, I'm retiring, right? And take my leave of all employments of the public life. So he says, I'm done. I did my duty. I fought the war. It was a hard go, right? He hasn't been with his wife for how long? Okay, so he said, I'm done. Okay, Washington returned home to Mount Vernon, Virginia. Then he planned to remain there and live quietly with his family. So is he planning to do anything else with his life? No. He said he's done. That's it. He's done. Okay. How did the Americans defeat the powerful Great Britain? Remember, the Americans had several advantages of war. First, they pay attention to this, because this will probably be your essay question. How did they win the war? Okay, so I'm going to be looking for this. How did the Americans win the war? The British moved their troops. Okay, so remember, they had several advantages. First, they fought on their own land. So own land. So I would write on my notes, how did Americans win the war? Number 1, they fought on their own land. Okay. The British had to move their troops and supplies across the open ocean. This was harder for them to get reinforcement, as the siege at Yorktown showed. When their ships were blocked, the British troops had no support. So, British depended on ships, right? From Britain. If you ain't getting ships, you ain't getting supplies. Okay. Also, the Americans knew that the land, right? So that's still part of. They knew where to lay ambush. So here's our vocabulary word today: ambush. Okay, ambush is a surprise attack. It would be kind of funny if you ambushed your parents today and be like, "It's one of my vocabulary words. I'm ambushing you." Like, surprise attack them. Okay, well, don't do it. Okay, but it would be funny. Too bad we didn't hit this on April Fool's Day, because that would be funny. The British, in contrast, had much difficulty controlling the American countryside once they occupied the cities. So, remember I said that the British were used to fighting their wars, like lining up? They're not used to these ambushes, these hit surprise attacks. Okay, so Americans use surprise attacks. Okay. The Battle of Kings Mountain, which you read about in Lesson 3, illustrates this point. The rural people did not like being told what to do. They also had wilderness fighting skills that could defeat their new enemies. The help from countries contributed to the Americans' victory. The success at Yorktown would not have been possible without French soldiers and ships. Spain gave aid. So they had French and Spain help. I mean, this is what my list looks like right now. So you can see this is going to be the essay question at the end of the test. So you guys can go through this and get that list again. Okay. Individuals such as Lafayette and von Steuben came to America to provide vital services to the patriot cause. Perhaps the most important American revolutionary was the People Movement. The outcome depended on one battle or event, but determination of spirit of all the patriots. As Washington remarked about the patriot crowds, here is an army they will never conquer. So their American pride, we'll say, American pride. They're fighting for their country, their life. And if they lose, they're going to have to pay big time. They've been with Britain before. They know what happens when you lose to Britain. They don't want to lose. So they're going to fight until they die, basically. Okay, so in 1776, the American colonists began the revolution. The Declaration of Independence, they outlined the principles of freedom and the rights that they all felt that all peoples of all and nations should have. These ideas inspired people in other parts of the world. For example, the French rebels in 1789 fought a revolution in defense of the liberties, equalities, and the fraternities. The French upheld these principles. Men are born to remain free and equal rights. In 1791, the revolution in French colony Saint Dominique inspired the ideals of the American and French revolutions. Enslaved Africans took up arms. They were led by a man named Toussaint Louverture, and he shook off the French rule. So because the Americans won their battle, they inspired other people to win theirs. Okay. In 1804, Saint Dominic, present-day Haiti, became the second nation in the Americas to achieve independence from colonial rule. We have asserted our rights and declared revolutionaries. We swear never to yield them any power on earth. Okay, so today your assignment is to finish these last 4 questions on page 169. Take a picture of it, turn it in. 1 through 4, page 169. Okay, see you on Monday.